Hey, this is Tang Tom 100 here to bring you an elderly video game review. Now, what this is all about is that I pick an old video game system that you guys might be interested in viewing, and I give basically the statuses of it. You know, how well did it sell, what events came during the event, the games, just being things that could be special about it, and a rating of overall how much I like it. Now today I'm going to give you a tour of what I like to call the Vectrex. Enjoy. First thing first about the Vectrex. It was developed by Western Technologies and Smith Engineering, but it was licensed and distributed by the General Consumer Electric, which was later bought by Milton Bradley Company. On November of 1982, it was sold for $200. The Vectrex left the market about 2 years later, in 1984. The Vectrex was basically an arcade system in your house, and it was just old arcade graphics. It had a built-in game, which I will show later, called Mindstorm. If you guys have played the Atari, it's similar to a game called Asteroids. Some people decided to call it the Mini Arcade. Now, one thing that I'd like to delve deeper into with the history of the Vectrex, which is over there, would be something that I like to call the North American video game crash of 1983. The video game crash of 1983. What happened is that eventually people were just saying, video games, they're not improving at all. They just need to get better. So, people have stopped buying their things and companies went out of business. Almost 100,000 home computer and video game companies were shut down. But there was one system that was able to save it all. The successful sell at the NES, or the Nintendo Entertainment System. That was able to bring the status back up of the video game industry. And it really helped. Basically, the game system, believe it or not, that kicked the Vectrex out of business was actually the Game Boy, and not the NES. Because people would still be willing to buy that until the Game Boy came along. It was basically almost the same thing, and you didn't need to plug anything into the wall. You just plugged in batteries and went. So that's when the Vectrex got kicked out after the North American crash. Now here are a few special things about the Vectrex that I'd like to tell you. When you first bought it, you were able to also get two kinds of accessories. One is the light pen. A light pen, in some versions of games that you're able to have, you're able to draw on the Vectrex, which is really cool for its generation. Another thing that you're able to do was get this thing called a 3D imager. Basically, it was a welding mask with a blue and red CD spinning inside of it that made the images look like they were popping out a little bit. It might not have been effective, or, hate to say it's safe, but it still worked. So just a few interesting things there. And then another interesting thing is the size of the cartridges, which I'll get in later, but these things called overlays. What they did is that they gave the illusion of color for certain games. Now I will grab an example. What you do is that you take them out of their little packages and you put this in front of the Vectrex screen. Now, in this game Armor Attack, you are this little, trooper in a jeep. And you go around trying to destroy tanks and helicopters that are trying to blow you up. So, this, in detail, shows that you may not be able to see that well, but it shows certain areas where you cannot go through or where the enemies cannot go through. But helicopters have an exception. They can go anywhere they want. It gives you controls on the bottom to help you out, and this is what an advanced overlay looked like. Now, more interesting trivia, that Smith Engineering and the many other companies that worked on this, none of them actually made these overlays. It was a completely different company. So, what I'm about to explain to you is a reason why the overlays aren't as good for every game. This is the Berserk overlay. Yep, it is a blue screen. That's all it is to it. Just adds blue coloring to the game. Nothing really special. Last but not least, before I rate the game system, I would like to show you the size of the cartridges for the Vectrex. Now, these may be a little bit big, but compared to like the Wii, how it's a whole CD, and how fragile CDs are nowadays, this wasn't that bad for games. It gave you a little bit of instruction on how to put it into the game, and it just gave you the title of the game. So in some of the newer game systems, you can see the name and maybe an illustration of the main character or main item in the game, but with here, you just get the title of the game. And also, when you buy the game, you get these things. They're instruction manuals, basically. Because if you buy a DS game nowadays, it usually comes with a little packet saying, you know, this is how you jump, this is how you do this, this is the main storyline. Well, this is what they were back then. For Armor Attack, Berserk, and the built-in game Mindstorm. Now, just to give you an example, I'm going to show Berserk. What happens is that there are 3 main characters inside this game. Okay, just adjusting here. The man on the left, that is you. You are the humanoid. The guy in the middle, that's a robot. They shoot lasers at you and try to kill you. And as you advance further in the game, they move faster and shoot more bullets. That's the evil Otto. You can't destroy him. He's a homing ball of death, basically. Your object is to go through an electrified maze and kill all the robots while avoiding the evil Otto. And you're able to switch between 2 different players, which is really cool. And now I get the final rating of this video game system. Originally, it was built with material that was made in the Army, but as it got later in production, it just got replaced with crappy plastic. Sorry. So that was a little bit of a downgrading point. Also, for modern day view, the graphics suck. But for its time, it was pretty good. Not to mention the different things that you could do with it with its accessories during its generation of 1982. It's not that bad. The controls are pretty cool because all you do is pop it right under the screen, and you have a controller that connects to this. It was semi-portable in a way, because all you had to do was plug it into a wall with an electrical outlet, and there you go. You can play electronics as long as you want. And overall, I would say that I give this Vectrex probably about a 7 out of 10. I mean, it's really good. I'm glad I have one. And thanks for watching this video. And now I'm going to show you Mindstorm. Vectrex 1982. Gameplay. Mindstorm. Player 1 is up. And what happens is that there is this plane that shoots through space, dropping off these things called mines. You, that thing that just appeared, are a ship. And you must go around destroying the mines. You can press certain buttons to move around, you can teleport anywhere around the screen, and you can shoot your bullets. As you can see there, I just blew up. Just to turn the volume down a little bit. It's a very simple game. The objective is to not blow up and destroy all the mines. Now, when all the mines disappear, there'll be a ship that appears out of one of the sides of the screen. And what happens is that you have to shoot that down before it drops more mines, or otherwise you have to fight more. Sometimes the best strategy is to just spin around and shoot randomly. But, move out of the way! Whoa! And once you beat a level, which I hope I do, you move on to the next level, which adds a new kind of mine and a difficulty. Now, if you see that ship that I just blew up, that was that ship that drops off more mines if you don't shoot it straight away. Come on. There we go. And that's the completion of the level. Then you move on to a different difficulty. So, thanks for watching, and if you want more gameplay, just leave it in the comments. See ya!